That was the first big television show I ever did. 30 years ago was when we filmed the pilot of Doogie Howser, MD. Wow, that brings me back. I didn't really ever want to be an actor. I was from a small town in New Mexico, so I was precocious. I really kind of wanted to be one of those singer-dancers in a theme park review show. That was always kind of my goal. And then I got a TV show on ABC, and that was kind of better, I guess. And actually, from that, I would say my life lesson is that I'd learned some good skills of how to act on a set. That was sort of my film education. Back then, with a little perspective, I'd probably tell myself to breathe, to journal, and to not speak like you were inhaling helium. Boom, then there's the How I Met Your Mother gang. That was almost a decade of my life. 9 seasons we did that show. Couldn't have asked for a better cast, couldn't have asked for a better crew, or a better character. Barney Stinson was dope. Rarely do you have a role where you get to be the sort of life of the party, the guy that people want to have adventures with, that's kind of delusional in his enthusiasm for getting strange, you know, and for doing shots and causing chaos, and wearing sharp suits. I'm just nothing but grateful for that one. It was a game changer, like financially, it was a game changer comedically. I got to make out with like an 86-year-old woman for a couple hours. And then Britney Spears.
Why are you trying to ruin my life?
Well, you slept with me and then you never called me again.
And?
That's it.
That's it?
And do The Naked Man. Best playbook movie, yeah, probably. Yeah, The Naked Man's probably the best. What do they say? 4 out of 5 times, or 2 out of 5 times? Okay, even 1 out of 5 times. Great stuff. Nice, nice. So that was from Hedwig and the Angry Inch, a rock and roll Broadway revival of a off-Broadway musical. A one-woman show. And I asked if I wanted to do it, and I thought, that's very interesting. I don't really know punk rock music. I've never done drag. I don't have an accent. So it challenged me in a whole myriad of ways, and it was great. I probably took advice from Hedwig. She was so caught up in this idea that she would be a complete person if only these other circumstances existed, which I then found that to be a really universal feeling. I think a lot of people are caught up in this idea that who they are isn't complete, that they're incomplete. If only they had not done that, then that person wouldn't have broken up with them, they would still be together, and if they were still together, then their lives would be different. This idea of incomplete explanation is understandable, but not necessary. Like, we are complete because we're incomplete. What makes us strong is what makes us broken. And so Hedwig's life lessons, I think, are good ones to take with you anyway. That's my family. Those are my kids and my husband. I always suspected I would be a family man. I just wasn't quite sure of how that was going to play itself out. And then I met a bloke who wanted kids as well. We kept trying to have babies the natural way, and that wasn't working. So we did this surrogacy thing, which was awesome. And we tried for twins, and we got twins. They're the most complicated things I've ever had to deal with, and they have taught me more than I knew one could need to learn. I really appreciate that my parents talked to us like regular people and didn't talk down to us as little kids. So I was able to interact with adults when I was younger in a way that was kind of level playing field. So we try and talk to our kids the same way. I think kids deserve a lot of respect. Even though they're younger and they're more volatile, they still have lots of innate intuition. So they can sense when something's off, and they can sense when something's complicated. And I don't think they're quite as simple as a lot of adults make them out to be. So I try and treat our kids with respect and yell at them when they don't do the same to me. Oh hey, that's me at a food truck handing out Quaker Chewy bars. Yeah, I teamed up with Quaker Chewy. They're doing this unbelievable initiative to support teachers. As a parent, this partnership's important to me because our kids are right now have just started the 3rd grade, and so I'm very aware and interested in who is teaching them and how they're teaching them and what they're learning. We need to make sure that the teachers on the higher end of the totem pole, if not financially, at least recognizability and the acknowledgement of teachers and what they do should be important, just to empower them to be able to teach well. You want the teacher that's excited, that's taking you on the field trips, that's making it special, that you remember. And everyone has those teachers, and I think it's important to keep making sure that the conversation steers towards them.